I am making this video at the end of what is in the Jewish calendar called Yom Kippur, or the Day of Atonement, which is a holy day in the Jewish calendar, a day dedicated to fasting and praying, primarily praying to God for forgiveness. In the several days leading up to this day is the time when, according to the Jewish tradition, one can try to atone for mistakes done in the previous year before these mistakes are, so to speak, recorded and remain registered forever, involving with them all the consequences of those mistakes. And it is said that one can atone for them by asking for forgiveness. Now, there are two kinds of mistakes in this tradition. One is mistakes against God, for which the human being must ask forgiveness from God. The other are mistakes between man and his fellow man, for which the human being must ask for forgiveness first from his fellow man to whom he wronged, and then from God. In this day, some thoughts came to me regarding the concept of forgiveness, thoughts which I would like now to share briefly with you. We often relate to and talk about the importance of asking for forgiveness, as it is, of course, done in this day of the Day of Atonement. And it is indeed very important, and there is much to say about that, and perhaps I will talk about it in a future video. However, what I would like to talk about now is something that is talked about much less, which is the importance of actually forgiving. So not just asking for forgiveness, but actually the importance of forgiving those who have wronged us. Often people think, when it's about forgiving someone or something, that this act of forgiveness is like a gift that we give to them, to the ones who have wronged us and that we have forgiven. Which is true, it is. However, it is also, and even more so, a gift to us. Forgiving is a gift that we give to us. How so? Well, when somebody wrongs us, or even if they didn't necessarily wrong us, but we perceive that they wronged us, we feel that they have hurt us in some way, and we developed a certain grudge, we actually form a link. We form, you can call it a resonate chain. We form a mental connection between us and not only the person that we perceive as wronged us, but also us and that act that was made against us and the pain that was created. Somebody misjudged us, or somebody insulted us, and we are angry, and maybe justifiably so. But as long as we have not yet forgiven, as long as we are still having inside that resentment, that anger, perhaps a wish to revenge, some part of our psyche still remains there in that moment where we were hurt, in that moment when we were insulted, when we were judged or whatever. And still we keep reliving those emotions again and again, periodically, or even at the subconscious level, but it still impregnates us, it still affects us, and it still prevents us from moving on. We keep staying trapped or falling back down again to the same level of consciousness, to the same mental state that we were when we were hurt, which of course is not a good place we would want to be. We would like to let go of it and get beyond it, to rise above it to better days. But because in us we still have not forgiven the one who wronged us, there is still a feeling that the balance is not made equal. There is still a certain debt that that person owes to us. We get dragged there again and again and again, and it really prevents us from moving on. It can even become with people that have a lot of things that they need to forgive and that they do not forgive. It can start to become even a kind of an obsession, a kind of a constant mental preoccupation, even becoming a character of the person who is all the time thinking and talking and complaining about all the people and all the things that have wronged them or that happened bad to them. However, when we forgive someone or something that have wronged us, and when we truly and genuinely forgive, it's not just a formal act of saying I forgive you or saying oh it's fine, don't worry about it, but we truly forgive. When we do that, we truly cut the thread, we truly cut the cord that was keeping us tied down to that anchor, tied down to that moment, to that situation that has traumatized us, you can say, in some way. And then we can truly let go. This is why one of the most important things for healing is to forgive. After a bad relationship, we need to forgive the one with whom we were in the relationship. After some act that violated us or hurt us, it's very important to forgive in order to move on. I've seen a very special interview with a truly remarkable woman, a woman that survived one of the extermination camps of the Holocaust, who has met one of the guards that abused her in that camp and who was himself put to trial, and she came there and she told him that she forgave him, and she was attacked by other survivors saying, how can you forgive this monster? And she says, I'm not forgiving him for him, I'm forgiving him for myself so that I could move on. Very often it's not even a person that wrongs us, we just feel that the world is against us, that life is against us, and then by forgiving we can move on. Therefore, forgiveness is a very important gift that we will be wise to give to ourselves. About how to actually forgive, we will talk also in a future video. But for now, I leave you with this message. Never be stingy, never be cheap with your forgiveness. Forgiving others is like taking something that you don't want in your house, the pain that you don't want, the hurt that you don't want, the resentment you don't want, and throwing it away and freeing yourself. Therefore, don't be cheap. Forgive generously, for it is a gift that we give to ourselves.